Yay, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do Iron Man issue 206 by Marvel Comics. Yeah, Centurion armor. I don't have much of these comics with Iron Man. And to be honest, I'm not collecting Iron Man much because, well, I think it's a cool character, but it's not my favorite character. I just collect them for, I don't know, if I see something like this with, certain villains and I'm interested in, then I'm gonna buy it, like this one. But is it actually good? Well, we're gonna find out. So, we see here Goliath, he's imprisoned, and he's in some kind of an adamantium prison, something in the Avengers mansion, and he can get out, and then Mockingbird and Hawkeye comes with a lot of hamburgers, feeding them. And what's with, I mean, look how casual they actually carrying these big bags of hamburgers. I mean, I'm not sure, but I believe if you have a lot of hamburgers like this, it's not very, it's heavy. I mean, it's not light, but these two carry it like they are, oh yeah, man, I'm doing this on my back. So Erik Josten here, who is now, well, in this time period, he's Goliath, but you know him from MMA The Thunderbolts. He's Atlas now. He's a good guy. Unfortunately, well, because I don't know, I just like my bad guys be bad. And he says that doesn't have to eat anymore, probably because of his ionic energy. Not sure if it's been established that because he is now, a little bit of a backstory. He's been turned into a superhero by someone I forgot. Power Broker or something is the name. And I'm not sure if it's been established that he has, just like Wonder Man, ionic powers. So he doesn't eat, sleep, and breathe air anymore. Anyway, so this lawyer comes out of him and he says, hey, I want you to release Goliath immediately. So Hawkeye gets in his face and he says, well, no way, man. We were granted custody of the big guy by the LAPD since they had no way to lock him up. So he says, well, that because his client was unconscious and unable to defend his position and his interest. So he comes back with some kind of a papers, sorry, to I don't know, release him from the Avengers mansion or someone. Meanwhile, somewhere at the airfield in LA, this guy is sabotaging this particular space shuttle, I guess. And then Rhodey and Tony comes in. They have a chat here and there about something that's not really important to the story. Nor this part. But what's interesting is AIM has interest in what Tony does, or AIM, or Advanced Idea of Mechanics. So he talks to this guy behind prison. I don't know who that is, but some kind of an important big guy, I guess. So he says, well, Yorgon, have you repented acting without my permission? So he says, well, if you have something to say, just tell me. I have sabotaged Tony Stark's space shuttle. He will not be able to complete his orbiting station. And so he will not accidentally discover our orbiting satellite, the ones that shouldn't be here. Okay, so that's interesting background story that is probably carry over in other issues that I, well, not have yet. Not sure if I can get them. Doesn't matter. Meanwhile, Tony changes into his Centurion Iron Man form because he has some kind of a weekly meeting with the Avengers. And so Rhodey takes off with the space shuttle into orbit. And so these guys come back with the order, the court order, and Hawkeye is not, amused. So he talks to his wife, or maybe would-be wife. Here, maybe they are married, maybe they're not. He says, "We got no choice, Mark. We got to turn him loose. You ready? As I ever be. Soon as he comes out, he comes at us." We hit him with everything we got, and then we lay on the floor and have a bleeding contest. That made me chuckle a little bit. But, Goliath has returned to his, smaller original form and says, hey, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. no hard feelings. So he shakes the hand of this guy, and he gets in the cop's car, and and then things start getting weird, right? So Hawkeye says, "Hey, you guys mind if we ride along?" "Can't happen, man. That order says you got to butt out." I love that dialogue. Not sure why he wants to go with them. I mean, it seems that nobody's here in the mansion. Shouldn't you just be there? I don't know, just in case something happens. But then something does happen outside of the building, and then we see this, and then Goliath rises, and then I thought to myself, what happened to these cops and the other guy, the lawyer? Are they dead? Are they squashed? Nobody talks about them. So he is starting to attack Mockingbird and Hawkeye. They roll away and flee. Well, as you can see, they are pretty useless against Goliath. But then they do something weird. So instead of, going back into the mansion or something, get some, I don't know, arsenal and weaponry and defense, whatever, they run through these bushes onto the coast. I don't know, on the beach. Why? There's nowhere to hide. There's nothing you can do. That's really stupid. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? So, of course, Goliath, quote unquote, traps them. And before he can do anything, he's getting zapped by Iron Man, because he has now new improved super deluxe repulsors. And so Goliath says, "Hey, not a chance, dude. I just got off balance, and it's not going to happen again." So they're having a fight, and that looks cool. But when it comes to sheer raw power, Iron Man cannot, beat him. Not with conventional matter. I mean, not with raw power. I mean. So, but they try anyway. So in the meantime, we see Rhodey here in orbit, and then, the sabotage happens, and he is now needs to go back to Earth. But then with all the complications, he thinks that the gravitonial pull him into the atmosphere and going to burn into a cinder. So I'm not sure how that works, because, okay, so what is actually happening here? So smoke is coming from the stabilizer section. What has that to do with the... Oh, wait a minute. He needs to shut down all systems. Okay, now I'm getting it, because normally you would easily go back into orbit or into the atmosphere without, fear of burning up. But maybe because he shuts down the systems, that's going to happen. Anyway, so more weird decisions is happening. So Goliath, Iron Man is just battling Goliath, and then he gets the message that Rhodey is in trouble, and that he needs to make a decision, or he goes into rescues Rhodey, but if he's gonna do that, Mockingbird and Hawkeye are gonna die. So okay, now watch this. So he's going away, and Goliath says, "Hey, are you scared?" And then he comes back. He puts Mockingbird and Hawkeye into this, I don't know, adamantium prison, I guess. And then Goliath is following them. So he puts them here on this, can you call it a mountain? Probably not. But you know what I mean. As a, so they say, but if the point is to stay out of Goliath's way, why don't we just go up in a Quinjet? Because we want to keep Golly occupied so he doesn't go off on another rampage. Mocky. Jesus Christ, these names. How can he resist 2 sitting ducks? Okay. Now, I see immediately the problem here. I mean, if you are looking at that, and there's a big giant coming here, it's easily to grab it and throw it into the ocean, drowning these two. So how is this a good plan? Okay, so Iron Man is rescuing Rhodey. It's all fine and dandy. And then this is exactly what's happened. He caught them up and threw them into the ocean. And, well, they are luckily to be alive. And Iron Man says, oh, and I just about had it cracked too. I mean, you're a genius. You just could have figured that out, that stuff like this is what happened. The only thing cracked around here is your brain, man of mine. So he says, help me convince my adorable wife here this wasn't a lame idea. So Iron Man says, oh, okay, excuse me, I have to deal with Goliath. Maybe you should, I don't know, open the gates for them so that they get out, just in case. But no. So he is going to attack Goliath again, and he knows he cannot do anything. But he has a plan, right? Okay. So what? Oh, ads. So what he's gonna do? He's punching him in the gut, and so there's some kind of a reaction, some kind of a reflex that he opens his mouth if he is punching him in the larynx, and he uses his pulse button bolts at maximum power and knocks him out because the inside is not as hard as the outside. I really over that lame trope. It's been misused all the time. So hey, if you are strong on the outside, maybe gonna kill you on the inside. Why? Okay, but I'm okay with that, right? But it's okay. Doesn't matter. So he's out, and then they say, hey, what do we do now? Iron Man says simple. We put him in an adamantium cell and donate that to the police. Since they have proper jurisdiction over him, this should be a legal hassle. Okay, and that's it. So this is the bad guy from the AIM, and his name is Yorgon Tykkio. I have no clue who this is. Never heard of that name. So is this actually good? It's passable. I mean, I like seeing him flying, doing stuff in this suit. I really like Goliath. I mean, I wish he'd go back to these villain roles, but somehow Marvel decides to make certain villains the good guys for reasons. And they are pretty forgettable. I mean, what has Atlas done, right, in the last couple of years? Nothing. What has all these so-called, bad guys turning good guys? Where are they now? Nowhere to be found. They were much more interesting when they were villains. Anyway, so this is, like I said, there's some weird decisions here. What happens with the I don't know, with this, and then also Mockingbird going, onto the beach. What are you thinking? You could have gone nowhere. You're just being lucky that Iron Man was in the neighborhood. And speaking of, why is nobody else turning up? I mean, if they, by the way, they press the SOS button or whatever so that Iron Man can find them. Where are the other Avengers? There are billions of them. Where's Moondragon? I don't know. Where's Tigra? Okay, she's pretty useless here, but you know what I'm saying. Where's Wonder Man? Or the Scarlet Witch? Or whoever. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel and all that jazz, and I'll see you next time.